Welcome back everybody to Forza Motorsport. So we took a bit of a break from doing any of these featured career races or championships because the American Thunder Tour just wasn't up to my liking. I did do it in my own time, but it wasn't particularly fun to be honest. So but we now have the new Australian Tour, which has been released alongside the Bathurst racetrack being added to this game, as well as some Australian cars on top of that. So the first championship is the Forza Oz series, and as per usual we'll do 2 races per episode. So the first 2 will be in this one. So let's see what this one's all about.
Car passion is deeply rooted in Australia. From the iconic Mount Panorama Circuit, where the legendary Bathurst 1000 endurance race unfolds amidst breathtaking scenery, to the Australian-made sport utes that seamlessly blend speed and utility. V8 stock car racing created a rivalry between Ford and Holden which endures today. The culture embodies a love for ingenuity, speed, and adventure.
So that Holden race car there being a little bit aged with the Xbox One graphics on it, because that was when it was released. But yeah, we have 3 cars to choose from, all of them basically the same. The Ford, as you can see, has those stats and that amount of horsepower, whereas the Holden is slightly worse in terms of braking and handling, but has better acceleration, even though it has the same horsepower and torque. And then we have the Nissan Ultima race car, which has better handling and braking than the Holden, but again worse acceleration. Same handling and braking as the Ford, as well as acceleration, but slightly worse in the way of speed, which is despite the fact it's got more horsepower and slightly less in the way of torque. So being an Australian one, we're going to go with Holden. I know it's not the best in terms of handling or braking, but it does have the best acceleration. And it's not the most expensive either. Even on sale, the Nissan is $250,000, which is quite a lot. So we'll go for the Holden. Bye. So I think there is a new Holden being added to the game. I think it's a 1991 Holden Commodore, but I can't remember whether or not it's been in the game or not. I know we've had plenty of Holdens from around the late 80s, early 90s, but I can't for the life of me remember whether or not it's one we've had in the game before. I've looked on the Forza wiki and I can't find a thing about it, but regardless, we're going to be on the Mount Panorama Circuit, also known as Bathurst Circuit, for 4 laps. Pretty good racetrack, this one. I didn't realise that this was actually made up of just normal roads that are, woven together to make a track. So it's quite like Le Mans in that regard.
Overtaking is almost impossible in the technical uphill and downhill sections of the Mount Panorama Circuit. Be patient in these areas, even if it means following a slower car.
Yeah, those parts are quite tight. There's very little room for side-by-side racing down there. Well, the fuel down. Let's go. So we're all going to be pretty much the same in terms of performance, so it's going to come down to driving skill, which I know isn't in abundance with me, but hopefully we'll have enough of it. Let's be a bit more patient than that. Stuck in between 2 cars. Not the greatest start ever, but we at least not lost any places. We now have gained one. No idea why that car's braking. It needs to stop that. Sorry. First time racing on this circuit. I have obviously already done a video on this circuit while driving around a car from Chevrolet with the Beretta, which is a car I wish we had in terms of its normal version, but unfortunately we don't, but yeah, I've driven the racing version of that car around here, but that was solo. So first proper race around here. You can see what she means about not being really able to overtake on these spots. Basically just have to keep up with who's in front of you, then I hope you can get the draft on the straight that is after it all, like now. High rate of speed in these. First time not only racing on this circuit, on this game, but also racing this car, so I do apologise for any collisions. It's not intentional. It's learning the vehicle, learning the track, learning the vehicle on the track, you know. Not sure if it's going to let us upgrade these cars or not, given on the American Thunder Tour we couldn't upgrade any of the cars, so sure we should be able to with these. Definitely will be able to with the road cars, but the racing cars like this are a different matter. Not sure if this and the Ford are new to the Forza series in terms of being on other Forza games or not. Pretty sure we've had the Nissan before. But I might be wrong on that. Gaining on 6th place by the looks of things. That Chevrolet Beretta, by the way, that I raced on here in that video, it's new to the Forza series. It's a very unusual car, that, for American racing car for the Trans Am series, and yeah, it has only a V6. And despite only having a V6, it's got more than 500 horsepower, which is quite impressive, to be honest. A late 80s car at the very least. Additional acceleration this car apparently has over the Ford and the Nissan definitely will help on this part. Although so would the extra handling and braking, but there's always a compromise when it comes to racing, and that is the compromise in this regard. Ford. At least we're in the top 5 as we go on to our final lap.
Final lap. You got this.
Big fan of Bathurst, and I'm really glad it's finally on this game. Although, like all of the other tracks that have been added to this game since its launch, it should have been there to start with, but there we go. You know, they managed it with the with previous Forza games to have those tracks at the start of the game, prior game's launch, so there's no real excuse to have that with this game. We should have had all of the tracks that we've had, well, the mainstay tracks at the very least, on the game to start with, and then we should have been adding new tracks to the series, to this game, but that's not really happened, has it? Granted, there were new tracks already on the game to start with that we hadn't had before, I believe. But by now we should have had tracks we've never had before on the Forza game added to the game. If that's the way they're going to do it in terms of managing this game, we should have completely lost it there. If that's the way they're going to go about updating this game in terms of adding tracks and keeping it fresh, then we should be adding tracks that we've never had before. Not adding tracks several months after the game's launch that we've had before in prior games. In fact, it took so long just to get the Nürburgring on this game to set it all, quite frankly. Looks like we're going to have to set off for 5th after that poor run round that tight part of the circuit. Did gain massively in that braking zone, but the fact is we only have one more corner. Oh well, it's a decent start. Definitely worse positions we could obviously be in. That'll give us a helpful 20 points to start the series off with. I always say if as long as we start off with 20 points or more in a championship, then we are in a good standing. So yeah, and only one Ford beat us. The rest were cars like ours. So yeah, let's get on to the next race and yeah, see whether or not we can actually upgrade this car. Right, as I figured, we can't upgrade the car. So yeah, we're at Watkins Glen International Speedway short circuit.
Here at the Glen, average top speeds on a short circuit are always higher than the full circuit.
Always been a big fan of Watkins Glen, short or long. So yeah, let's see what it's got in store for us with these cars now. So yeah, we've got how many laps? 6 laps. So more laps, but a shorter circuit. So shouldn't be much longer than before. 25%. Right, let's see if we can improve upon our 5th position in the last race. Definitely more familiar with this circuit than Bathurst, so hopefully we will. is consistent with that chicane part, so it can be easy to take advantage of their inconsistencies. As you saw, some braked quite heavily beforehand, or some didn't, so made up some places there nicely. Struggling to gain time on 5th place here. Much better through there. Just basically need to catch the draft on them and then we'll be able to get ahead. That's about 0.4 of a second, I believe, in terms of drafting. Could be wrong.
3 remaining.
Closer than we were last time though. Whoa, what the hell was that? Holden had massive understeer and Ford, for whatever reason, didn't know which way it wanted to go. Oh well, that's 2 places we've gained. Very helpful. And we are in a better position than we was at the end of the last race. Get a podium though. Better acceleration means we should catch up on the Ford up front. I think it is all Fords in fact, so do have that advantage, but obviously they do have that little bit extra better handling and braking. good at that long sweeping corner there. Last lap, come on.
One more lap.
Got the draft, come on. Braking competition, just got in there. Slight clip of the wall, but nothing penalty inducing, thankfully. Well, I'm happy with third. It's a marked improvement over the last race, and it is a podium as well. So it's very difficult to get past that Ford Falcon that was...
Nice work out there.
No, that fellow Holden, should I say. But once we broke through them, we were able to gain quite a bit on the other positions. That shoots us up into third, so we now have a podium position in the championship as well. Not all that much in it between us and second place, as there's only 1 point, but there is a 6-point gap between us and first. So yeah, but still reasonably everything to play for by the looks of things. So yeah, but nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.